Let me tell you about a couple mistakes that people make, though, when they're in debt.
Okay.
And so for our viewing audience, they don't make the same mistakes. You don't want to run up credit cards in contemplation of filing bankruptcy.
Well, why not? If you said I could be able to discharge all this debt and I'm a prime candidate, hey, you know what I think I want to do? I think I like that nice, commercial kitchen stuff, and I think I want some of that stainless steel, the utensils and also the refrigerator freezer, because I think that'd be really nice, especially if I'm not going to have to pay for it.
I think you have all that, don't you?
Oh, well.
Well, here's the deal. Bankruptcy is for an honest debtor. So if you are running up your credit cards, knowing you're going to be filing bankruptcy, it's tantamount to fraud. And what the creditor will do is they'll come into court and try and hold recent purchases non-dischargeable.
How recent?
Well, typically there's a 90-day presumption period. If you use your credit cards within 3 months of filing, the credit card company has the benefit of having that debt presumed to be non-dischargeable. Now, you can always rebut that presumption if you could show that you didn't do it fraudulently. But it's kind of obvious if the run-up is so close to filing and you purchase luxury items like plasma TVs, jewelry, big vacations.
Like the stuff in your house.
I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that. I live in meager means, Jesse.
Okay, Dave. Well, hey, if you kind of look at those kind of things, well, we're here in January. We just passed the holiday season here, so say in December, I've charged some things for Christmas presents because I bought you a plasma television, right? And okay, now it's January, February, March. So what you're really saying is that there is that 30-day time period. And a lot of people do that, and again, it's not for an honest.
It comes down to your intent. Buying a gift like that so close to filing, knowing you're already in debt, is not a good thing to do. Again.
And that's different than opposed to maybe groceries.
Of course, those are necessities. Paying your utility bills with a credit card to keep your gas on,
paying
keep
the mortgage
your electric
maybe,
on.
Or
paying the mortgage as well, yeah.
Or the rent or anything like that.
Yes. One other thing that people should not do, and they do this a lot, unfortunately, is they drain their retirement account, either a 401k, IRA, pension, or other kind of retirement account.
Pay off the credit cards to stay afloat a little while longer. Why
Yes.
shouldn't I do that?
And what winds up happening, Jesse, is they wind up coming to see me after they've already exhausted all or a great portion of their pension or profit sharing, and then they file bankruptcy. They could have protected 100% of those retirement benefits. They didn't have to touch them. They could have filed bankruptcy and still had all that money in their retirement, and they would have been better off because all they do is drain it now. They file bankruptcy anyway,
Sure.
and there's nothing to retire on. So it's good to talk to a professional before you make any drastic moves. And pulling something out of your 401k to pay Discover card is not a good idea if you're going to be filing a bankruptcy shortly thereafter.
Well, let's talk about that too, because we have questions about this all the time in terms of, and again, we say sometimes it's too late, when people come in and, hey, guess what? Guess what I just did? And I couldn't keep it afloat. Holiday season was here, credit cards got up there. I refied and tapped that $15,000 of equity I had in my house, and I paid those credit cards, but unfortunately, you know what? The bills are run up again, and I don't have any more equity to tap, and I can't, I can't refi. So, is it a common mistake that you see as well?
This happens a lot. They go for a second mortgage, they go for a line of credit, they use that money to pay debt that they otherwise wouldn't have to pay if they just would have left that equity in their house. Because again, we can protect quite a bit of equity, especially for a joint couple, $15,000, $30,000 worth. And of course, you got the cost of sale, so really you can protect even more than 30. And if you drain it all out of a second mortgage, you wind up paying your creditors. The debt doesn't go away usually. They wind up filing bankruptcy anyway. And now they're sitting on real estate that has no equity, so they're really in almost a zero-sum situation. It's sad.
Not to mention, hey, rolling it in, if you do a refi and not a second mortgage, you roll it in, and now you're going to be paying for those credit card purchases for the next 30 years, or 25 years, or 20 years, or
That's right.
Or something.
And as real estate values do not continue to appreciate like they used to in the past, it makes it more and more difficult to make that payment or to refinance or to sell. So you're pretty much strapped with that first and second mortgage or line of credit, equity line, for quite some time.
Well, a lot of questions that I get in some of these interviews is that, people come in and, they have a lot of credit card debt. They just can't shoulder it anymore. They may even be up to date on all of these things, but the burden is just so tremendous and so extravagant. I mean, they just can't do it anymore. And what they want to do is they want to do the bankruptcy, and they qualify for the bankruptcy, but they want to keep this one card that just for emergencies, just in case.
Right. We refer to that as a security blanket. I want to get out of debt, but I want to keep this one card. Well, why? Because they don't think they're going to get credit again. Well, the truth is...
Can you keep the card?
Typically not.
Why not?
Well, you have to list all the people that you owe money to when you file bankruptcy.
Even Uncle Harry?
Oh, definitely Uncle Harry needs to be listed.
Okay.
His debt needs to be eliminated. But if you have a credit card with a balance, it must be listed. If you have a credit card that has a zero balance on it, you obviously wouldn't have to list it because it's not a debt, but you're probably going to get a letter from that issuer terminating your charging privileges anyway. So don't plan on keeping a credit card if you're contemplating filing bankruptcy. That doesn't mean you won't get credit again. You can apply for a secured card immediately after a bankruptcy, put $250 in a bank account, you'll get a credit card with that much in charging privileges or more, and you'll start to reestablish. And you need to go on a cash basis anyway because you had a budget problem, you had a credit problem, and you were probably using the credit cards when you shouldn't have.
Well, a lot of people also get these pre-approval even after they, while the ink is still hot on their filing of their bankruptcy. And the difference is what? Is the interest that's charged, right? It's
That's
a
correct.
huge amount of interest.
That's correct. There was just a story in the Chicago Tribune recently where a gentleman who has a family kept track of all the credit card applications or solicitations that he and his family received over the course of a year. I think it was about 445 solicitations. So yes, you will get offers for credit again because they can't differentiate between the filers and the non-filers, between the children, between the pets. It's ridiculous.
Oh, so even pets get applications for credit cards.
Even pets.
Oh, too bad you can't get the tax deduction for that, can you?
That's right.